All right. Hope you guys are having a good week so far. Hope everything's going swell in your part of the world. Everything's going pretty good here. Not too bad. We have a poll up. If you guys, those of you who are here live in the live chat, you can go check it out. We got a poll. YouTube was being I was having a hard time getting the poll up and running, and that's why it took me a minute longer to get going here. Confidence in the Hogs making Omaha. We know they just went 0 for 2 down in, down at that SEC tournament in Hoover, Alabama. No need to freak out. Teams that have done pretty well in postseason have gone 0 for 2 or only win one game down there, 1-2, and gone on and done some pretty good things. I saw some of that in chat. I guess Ole Miss. I think it was Ole Miss that went 0 for 2 a couple of years ago before they won their College World Series in the same season. LSU, I think last year, only won one game. So, saying all that to say, I wouldn't look too much into their tournament play. But there might be more to it, though, right? It's not just the SEC tournament, right? All right, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Wes Brown is in the building. Yeah. What's going on, man? Heartbroken Hog, what's up, my Hogs? By the way, I think it was Heartbroken Hog who reached out to me in Patreon DMs asking me about his name. Keep in mind on the the name scroll, right? It's green for the $4 folks, yellow for the $8 folks, and then red is legendary status, right? The shot at getting that autographed card. If you join Patreon in the middle of the month, your name's not going to be on that list until next month. So just a heads up. Just want to get everyone up to par on that. I've actually had a couple of people DM me over that over the last several months. So yeah, if you were to join Patreon now, your name won't be on that scroll. It'll be on for the month of June, assuming you stick around long enough and you pay for the month. And then I get the email next month on the 5th, and it's like, hey, here's your list. Then your name gets added. So just know that list is always the month before. So just FYI. All right, but I do appreciate you guys that are Patreon supporters. You keep this ship afloat, and I do appreciate it. Howard Wicklander's in chat. What's going on, Howard? What's up, man? Always DMing me some crazy stuff. Hope you're doing well. Keeping an eye on your boy, for sure. Kopesky says it's been library quiet. Cal needs to fill roster instead of hanging with Derek Jeter. That might be a little reactionary, but then again, this is Kopesky we're talking about. 7 players in the deep SEC won't last in March. Yeah, I don't think that's the plan. So I think that's a little silly. Of course, he's gonna add some bodies. We're gonna talk about those, as you can see on our red wall here. Our red wall of topics right here on your screen. That's what we're gonna discuss, and a little bit in between. We also, and this is gonna be, first off, before we get into the college football 2025 from EA Sports, we got an update on this. Actually, I don't have it pulled up on my screen, but I found out we've gotten something confirmed on that. It sounds like not from EA, but from a very reliable source on EA College Football 2025. Before we get into that, first off, shout out to Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company, same day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes. 501-244-3667. Give them a call today. Affordable outcomes, okay? Better than best results. They do good work. Check out their link provided for you down below. Of course, Insurance Max. So speaking of Wes Brown, Insurance Max, as it's stated in their Discord, if you look in our Discord, on the top left, it says sponsors, and it tells you right there what all they offer, and their link is provided there as well. Sign up or call for a free quote. You get a chance at winning a copy of EA College Football 25. from Insurance Max. So what does Insurance Max do? Oh, you know, business, personal, life and health, retirement. They cover all four corners of our wonderful state. So shout out to Wes Brown and the boys. They've got your back. And hey, they might get your back with some quality insurance coverage and also give you a copy of the game, EA College Football 2.5. Okay, so something we learned, and again, all those links are provided for you down below. Something that we learned, and this is from a Twitter. Oh, no, it's on my personal Twitter. It's not on. Appreciate the retweet, Wes. Thank you, man. I want to share this with you guys because I think it's interesting. Well, so they showed off the screen of the Texas Stadium, right, today. They showed that off. I guess they had some big thing, a big event down in Orlando yesterday, and there's more and more stuff coming out about the game. And one of the things that we learned, sounds like, is going to happen, and we've already kind of known this for a minute, but now it sounds like it's getting confirmed. There will be no crossplay. So if you're on Xbox, guess what? You're going to have a hard time playing with us on Tusk Talk because we're doing our online dynasty. By the way, our online Madden dynasty has been fun. If you guys are a part of it, it's been fun. I suck. I'm terrible, and I'm playing with the Rams, who on that game are terrible. We're having a blast. I swear I'm going to find this link. There's some more stuff that they – if anyone has the link, you know what I'm talking about. It's got some of the more details for EA. It just dawned on me as I went live. But, yeah, there's no crossplay. That's probably the big one. I know ESPN's not going to be involved as much. It's not like a direct relationship, you know, and I'm going to be real with you. I kind of thought, you know, there were rumors years ago, for those of you who are really who can peel your brains back long ago enough. God, I sound like Joe Biden. This is what happens when you're running on like 3 hours of sleep. If you guys remember that played back in the day and you kept up with some of the news and some of the insider info, whether it be on Reddit or whatever, they were going to incorporate 247 Sports. So I kind of thought maybe they would do that this year, and I've been kind of waiting on that, and I don't know that that's going to happen. You guys know, by the way, and we've talked so much about this game. Listen, again, I've been waiting for this game for so long. I know so many of you have as well. But they have the MVP bundle, which I'm not going to lie to you. The more and more I think about it, the more I kind of want that bundle. But it's $150, right? You get a discount if you sign up through EA Sports. The deluxe edition, which has a limited time offer by June 27th, that's what I bought. You're going to get the game 3 days early, just like you can the MVP bundle. The standard edition, you do not get the standard edition. You don't get to play early. Hey, Wes, if you're still in chat, can you clarify? I'm assuming you're doing this for the $70 for the standard. Which, listen, don't feel pressure, anybody. Don't feel pressure if you're trying to join our league. We're not starting 3 days early. So don't feel pressured like, oh, I got to get that early version. No, we're going to start on July 19th, I'm assuming, or that Friday. When is July 19th, actually? That's a Friday, isn't it? Let's look on the old calendar here. Yeah, it's a Friday. Perfect, because that's when I want to do our games. That's where I think and we talked about this. We talked about this in Discord a few nights ago, and I think we're going to do July, or every Friday, and we're going to start on July 19th. We may wait, because everyone's getting the game on the 19th, you know, we may wait till the 20th. There's also the possibility of server issues. But yeah, so the 19th, the 26th, the 2nd of August, 9th, 16th, 23rd. So, you know, you get it. Yeah. Did somebody tag me that link? I hope so. Oh, gosh. That's really small on my screen. I can't read that. There's a whole bunch of stuff, but probably the biggest news is that there's no crossplay. That's not really super surprising. However, Madden 2.4 is crossplay. Anybody could fire that up. If you've got that EA Pass on your computer, you could fire it up and play with us. I think the other Mike in our Discord, that's how he's playing. There's also something else, and I don't know if this is legit. This is from Everything EA College Football on Twitter. Team Builder website, for those of you who are into that, expected to launch the first week of July. No, I don't know how legit that is. But that sounds about right. I mean, if you're gonna do Team Builder, and you're gonna go through all that, yeah, you're gonna have to go through the website. I'm pretty sure that's how they've done it before, and it would make sense to get a head start. Now, I wonder if they're gonna do that, if they're maybe gonna show us the depth charts, like the ratings, kind of like how they do it on Madden. You know, I think they do on Madden. It's like an event, like it's the week before launch or something. If I remember right, they start unloading all the rosters. I wonder if we're gonna get that on EA College Football 2.5. Golly, I know some of y'all are not here for this. I get it. You're here for the basketball or whatever. You want to complain about baseball. This is just such a big deal. This is like we've been waiting for a really long time for this game, and I can think of a whole bunch of other games. This is one of the greatest sports franchises of all time. Maybe the best. Madden had a really great run, but EA College Football up until, and I'll be real with you, I didn't like 14 much. Thought the recruiting was terrible. The mechanics at the time, you got to remember we were a lot more limited back then. It felt just not the greatest. Just felt like they dumbed the game down a little bit. I'm hoping we get, but I'll say this. I would take that play style over what I've played with Madden 2.4. Madden 2.4 is so damn sluggish. I'm already bad, and I'm playing with the Rams, and the game feels so slow. I don't know. That's just me. All right. Again, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. There's a poll. Let's get caught up here. I'm joining the league tonight. If anyone else wants a game. Yeah. We're in week 3. So if you join our league, you'll be whatever team you take. I'm pretty sure if this is how it works, you'll be in week 3 with us. Just started NCAA 14 Dynasty with Idaho. Since they aren't going to be in the new one, they drop back to FCS. Heartbroken says, unfortunately, I'm a Xbox PC guy. That sucks. So what you're going to get the standard version, Wes says, which is, hey man, free copy of the game. Are you kidding me? That's awesome. How do you determine pick order? Yeah, we're still, or if you're talking about Madden, you just take whatever team you want. We're still trying to draw it up for EA College Football 2.5. We're still trying to figure out how we're going to do that. I don't know. We might just – I say we just we either take the Big 12 or a crappy conference and then just pick the teams that way, doing the whole wheel spin thing, pick the name, pick the team, and what have you. I'm so excited. All right. Arkansas baseball goes 0 for 2. As we already kind of talked about. You guys, I don't know what to tell you. You did beat Mississippi State on May 10th, 11th, and 12th. On May 10th and 12th. You took that series, but the weekend before that in Lexington, you struggled. You lost 2 out of 3 to Kentucky. Hagen Smith had a hell of a Friday. Of course he did. Against Kentucky back on May 3rd. I think some people were a little surprised Arkansas couldn't sweep Florida. You did go on the road and you beat South Carolina, but that was back in April. I think you could argue, other than the Alabama series loss, like you felt pretty good up until that point. I think had we done a poll then, how do you feel about Arkansas making Omaha? I think you'd still feel pretty good about it, even after that series loss in Tuscaloosa. This team struggles away from bomb. I mean, it's just again, I know they won at Columbia. They took that series 2 out of 3. Remember, 2-1 in game 1. But lately, you dropped 2 of your final 3 series. You got run ruled embarrassingly in College Station against A&M, 14-4. Didn't play but 7 innings. You dropped to South Carolina, and you dropped to Kentucky. Although this Kentucky fight felt like a boxing match. They would score 2. Arkansas would score 2. They would score 2 more. And then they would score a bunch. Then Arkansas hits a 3-run homer. I get, like I said earlier, I don't think anyone needs to overreact too much. We certainly had that today in Discord or in our Tusk Talk Discord. I kind of had enough. I said, forget DMs. We had a certain individual who just every game, it's the same thing. People get tired of it, man. I don't catch as many DMs about it as I used to, but people get tired of it, and it runs people off. Nobody wants to sit in a chat while Arkansas's losing and to have the same 3 or 4 individuals saying the same stuff. And I get it, man. They've even got a point. It's not to say that the criticisms of this baseball team aren't valid, but you've now lost 4 of your last 5 games. Now, you're supposed to take that with a grain of salt. I'll tell you, I think baseball is played in multiple series. Like, that's how you could tell how hot you are. It's how many the last couple of series, the last 5-6 games, how well have you played? Now, those other teams that failed to have success in Omaha, I would love to know what they were doing, at the end of May before the SEC tournament. I don't have that in front of me, so please correct me if I'm wrong and tell me I'm overreacting. But Arkansas has not been. There's not a level of consistency here from either the plate or the mound, and it's a little bit concerning. You got the NCAA tournament coming up. You're still expected to host. You should be a top 8 seed, right? You still feel pretty good if you get past the regionals. I guess you're going to host the Supers if you can get past the regionals. But I'll tell you what, 3-4 weeks ago, I wasn't as concerned about what bracket you're in, and now I'm more concerned than ever. There are a bunch of teams I don't think I want Arkansas playing. I mean, Hagan, by the way, did not give up either. He didn't give up 2 earned runs today, but 2 runs were scored while he was on the mound, but they weren't. He didn't get hit with the ERs. Overall, I didn't think he had that bad of a day, but you kind of wonder, like, confidence-wise, he didn't have the kind of game I think we all thought he would have. And, of course, he was pulled because they just wanted to get him out there and keep him in that rotation, right? I mean, that's how it works, right? You want to keep his arms somewhat ready to go. You're going to have a little bit of brief time off here. I had a feeling they're going to keep him under. I thought it would be like 50. What was his pitch count? Like 30 something. It was not because he was struggling. I think Dave just didn't want his. I mean, listen, these pitchers have egos. They all do. Everybody's got an ego. The guys that play in field, the guys out in the outfield, the guys, everyone's got a little bit of an ego on them, and you don't want it to get tripped up too bad, right? You want Hagan thinking he's all that in a bag of chips a little bit. So you don't want to damage his confidence too much, and I think that had something to do with it. That, and they didn't want to risk anything. It was smart to pull him. We did see Tiger come out today. But, yeah, I'm not as confident as I was 3 or 4 weeks ago, and this is just kind of how it works. Ebbs and flows, as they say. Like, it's baseball's a very streaky game. And sometimes maybe you're crap towards the end of the season, and then you pick it up in the tournament. People going back and reading the back and forth in Discord. So who knows how this plays out, right? Who knows what bracket? We have a pretty good idea, but who knows who's going to be in it? There is certainly some concern. My dog is losing her mind. I'm the only one home. My wife took our kids to a baseball game. My nephew's playing baseball, so there's no one in the house. I don't know what she's barking at. What was I saying? There is some concern, and I get people who in Discord were losing their mind. I get people on Twitter that, well, I shouldn't say losing their mind. I don't know if anyone was losing their mind, but there certainly was some of the same stuff that we see every single game. Every time Arkansas trails, every time they get off to a slow start, it's the same people doing the same stuff. I may have to go. I may have to pause the stream for just a second. I don't know. She's losing her mind. So, anyways, the poll is up. If you guys feel, let me know how you're feeling about this. Because right now, let's see. Confidence in the Hogs making Omaha. Probably should have just put confidence in Arkansas advancing, like getting to the supers. High is at 32%, medium at 39%, low at 29%. I'm a little bit surprised low isn't a little higher than high, to be honest. Ryan Jones says, going 0 for 2 in Hoover was realistically our best case scenario. Get everyone healthy and rested for the regional. The offense showed signs of life too, which leaves me a little optimistic. That's a pretty good. That's a good way of looking at it. But there's still those concerns, and I think in game 2, they actually did fairly well with runners in scoring and with RISP, runners in scoring position. Today they didn't do as well. Against South Carolina, Arkansas did have 8 hits. And I think they had 10, was it 10, 9 or 10 today. I've been saying I don't think the problem is necessarily what's going on at the plate as much as what's going on with runners on base, getting guys home, finding ways to score. You watch Kentucky. I watch them a little bit during the regular season when I just have them on in the background and I'll watch a game or two. They are very innovative with their offense. They can hit. They'll play small ball. They'll go yard. They've got power. They got a mix of all of it. It's very similar to Texas A&M and Tennessee. Like, they are that level of an offense. Arkansas is just nowhere near that. They can hit, and they show signs of life at the plate in terms of getting hits. Hell, we saw some homers today. Didn't think they'd get one, if I'm being honest. And they ended up, 17 total hits, I think, in these 2 games. Oh my gosh, man. I'm going to have to go throw her in the backyard. I don't like pausing midstream, but I think I might have to. She is. Yeah. So Arkansas's, they got a long ways to go offensively. They've got a long ways to go offensively, I think. But the good news is they are swinging the bats pretty well. They're still getting off to these slow starts. I'm less confident in pitching lately, although, I know someone's going to bring up, look at the team ERA on the year, Ty. Yeah, that's on the year. They have not been as good on the mound in the last 3 or 4 weeks, and that usually, that could be a sign of these guys getting a little tired. Again, kind of why the rotation was what it was a little bit. Not that it was super out of the ordinary in Hoover, but by the way, Christian Fouch, oh my goodness. I really hope he becomes a guy that they can expect to come out of the bullpen and pitch. I mean, he only faced 7 batters against South Carolina. That dude, oh my goodness, he can throw a ball pretty damn hard. I'll say that. Fouch and I'm looking forward to, of course, Parker Coyle, who didn't have a great day against South Carolina. Faraday, Gabe Gackle, of course, he didn't have a very good day. But maybe moving forward, getting these guys into the tournament, you still feel like this is the best bullpen Arkansas has ever had. Maybe ever. It's just now it's about manufacturing runs, and they just don't know how to do it. They're just really struggling, man. Not that you're upset with 5 runs and 9 hits. You're not like upset with it. The biggest problem was that this team had, they have 5 errors in 2 games. What was going on with infielding? Tiger dropped what should have been a routine. I don't know that it was routine necessarily, but a ground ball that he had a play on. He could have made a play on it. I know that ball was spinning like crazy. It's hard to put all the blame on him, but that's happened to him 2 or 3 times this year where he can't get the ball to first base. I mean, as simple as that. Or even to throw the ball in a position where you can tag the runner. It's just not there. Tiger just struggled with that, which is wild. It is. They make it look easy. I get that, but you kind of expect someone like Tiger to make that play. The infielding, I thought, was just horrible, and that's really the biggest concern, right? 5 errors in 2 games. That's rough, man. Yeah, they had 2 against South Carolina and 3 today. So if you really want to chalk up like what the hell happened, of course, home runs happened, but the errors really hurt Arkansas. Too many errors. You're not going to win a lot of games. The question is, if you take away those 5 errors, how much does that change the game? I think it changes it for sure. Either one of these 2 games. So, again, I'm not freaking out about hitting. I've been saying it for a little bit for the last 2-3 weeks. I've been saying the hitting is actually coming around. It's about figuring out how to manufacture runs. When you got guys on second and third, it just shouldn't feel as – even when they had bases loaded with 1 out, I still thought, I don't know, they might get a run. I don't know. That's crazy. That's crazy. You got to feel like, oh, yeah, baby, we're about to rip this thing wide open. Momentum is on our side. Nope. Even with the middle of the lineup, sometimes you just don't know what to expect. All right. I'm loving it. Yeah, they had I hate how small this font is. Can I zoom in on this? Runners in scoring position. Arkansas today was 1 for 6. Good enough for 167. South Carolina was 2 for 5, 400. So there you go. There you go. Arkansas gained a very interesting commit, actually. Out of Wellington, Florida, Kamari Williams. 6'4", 180 pounds. I've seen some people say he's a 4-star. I think Rivals and 247 have him at a 3-star. What's interesting about Williams here, 27 offers. 27 total offers. That's being reported. That's not like sometimes you'll look at a kid's profile on 247, it'll show like 8, and then Rivals will show like 2 or 10. No, these were both, I think they were both north of like 25 total offers. But I think the official number is 27. Reached out to somebody yesterday and asked about the how committable, how legit, like were these on the table, commit now offers. And I've heard it might have been the vast majority of them. This is someone who's expected to get a bump in the rankings. Again, he's out of Wellington. He plays at Palm Beach Central. Got an itch on the mustache. Itches. I like this get, man. And I know someone said this in our Discord yesterday. They were like, man, they don't feel as confident. I think it was Matt or somebody that said this in our Patreon chat. I don't feel as confident that we could sign these guys. That's a legitimate, concern. Hanging on to these Florida kids, man. Hanging on to these Florida kids. This isn't the day. And even if you sign them, there's always that concern about, well, will he stick it out, right? I'll say this much, even though his home is, he plays in his backyard. We all thought, knock on wood, well, I don't want to say his name now. Because if something does happen, I'm gonna get blamed for it. I'll just say there's a receiver on our roster right now who's from the area who committed to multiple schools during his recruiting process. He ultimately committed and signed with Arkansas, and I'm just gonna say he's still here. That's all I was gonna say. What's he going into his 3rd year? So you never know once you get him here. But was told that he really likes what's going on up here. I don't know what that's supposed to mean exactly, but he wouldn't commit otherwise, right? I mean, you don't expect someone to commit somewhere where they're like, I don't think so. I don't like what you're doing in Fayetteville. So Kamar Williams, again, he's 6'4", 180 pounds. Future cast on Rivals says Ole Miss at 67%. I don't know when that was put in. But that was specifically who I asked about was Ole Miss. How committable was that offer? And the response I got was it sounds like it was very possible. You always know how this could be. This could be played out like this, right? Ole Miss is probably waiting on some other commits, and maybe they kind of hinted that to Williams. I don't know if that happened or not, and maybe he just decided, you know what, I like Fayetteville more. So, Kamar Williams, I like this get, man. Again, he's someone who's got to keep an eye on, see if he gets that 4th star. 27 offers. That's a lot. Someone complaining about us talking about NCAA. Is this a sports talk show or a damn game show? Goodbye. This is Jim Sandy Robinson. What do you bet? He's a Facebook boomer. Arkansas has had 0 commits. Wait a minute. Arkansas has had 0 commits and is 3-5. Oh, and is 3-5 in baseball since Curtis Wilkerson gave in to his wife and shaved his mustache. Okay. That's cool. Cool. Show us Merlin. Merlin is. It wasn't Merlin. That's Leia. We got a big old guard dog, Leia. She's big, and she barks, and it's so loud. It's like scares the little kids. All right. We got a little bit more football recruiting, by the way. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to this Kellen Francis situation. I shouldn't say situation. This is an interesting possible pickup. This is a guy who out of high school didn't have a lot of offers. Now, Kellen Francis, out of Illinois, but he plays at Butler County Community College. He's a freshman offensive lineman. I'll pull his size up here in just a second. 6'6", 320 pounds. He's being recruited heavily by Eric Matios. He has offers from Eastern Illinois, Houston, Marshall, Ohio. Illinois is rumored to be on his list. I guess they have offered, but I'm not entirely sure if it's I don't know the situation there. I thought Illinois had offered. Maybe I read that wrong. I know that they're interested. He's currently an unranked player, but this is a guy who kind of snuck up on some people, and he's gaining more and more interest. I forgot who the other SEC school was. Might have been South Carolina, who hasn't offered yet, but they have interest. But again, he's out of he's from Illinois, but he's playing at Butler Community College. So 6'6", 320 pounds. Big dude. So he had his visit. It was great. This is a quote from him. It was great. This is my first official visit, and I was definitely blown away with the facilities. Being in the SEC, the thing I liked the most was the staff. I just really liked how they treated me and how they handled everything. He's talking about Matios and Pittman. Yeah, Francis is being recruited by South Carolina. There's no official offer yet. So just someone to keep an eye on. I think you got a pretty good shot here at landing him. I'm pretty sure he's part of the 24 class, right? Is he 24? Yeah, 2024. There you go. So if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free, fire away. We're going to move on to basketball here in just a second. Again, if you guys want to join Patreon, the link is provided for you down below. We have we upload. There's videos uploaded. We have they're short videos. They're on Patreon and they're in our Discord. And eventually Discord's probably going to end up getting the majority of those, if not all of them. I may still upload to the actual Patreon site, but I don't know how many people are actually – seems like everybody's just in the Discord reading and taking in the information there. But we also have a football discussion, portal players, portal commit page, basketball discussion, everything that's a little bit more in-depth beyond just kind of the surface level conversation is in those Patreon chats. So if you want access to those. I've also had someone bring up the idea, they DM'd me actually not that long ago, earlier today, about doing a Patreon EA College Football 25 league alongside the other league that we're going to do, the online league. So maybe we'll have a free version and a paid version just for Patreon supporters. I don't know if that's an idea that's been floating around elsewhere. I don't know if that's another conversation being had in our Discord. I don't think so. But it is something we might consider. Looks like Brad Calipari was officially added to the staff. Director of On-Court Player Development, so that's not surprising. There you go. You got your someone was just talking about him in Discord or live chat not that long ago. So there's Brad Calipari. He's going to be on the staff. Appreciate the stream. Thanks for NCAA 25 updates. Hope you have a good one. But hey, you too, Ryan. Thanks, man. Thanks for being here. Again, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. If you haven't already, check out all the links provided for you down below. Excuse me. Yeah, and for anyone who wants to join, I think we have someone in our Madden. We don't know who he is. Blackhawk. Make sure you're in our Discord so we know who's who, and you can get your experience. You can get your XP. All right, let's talk about these targets, about the latest, or just getting an update on these prospects for Coach Cal and the Razorbacks. And so wanted to start, pull up his stuff here. Wanted to start with Will Riley. Now, you may know of Will Riley as the 5-star 2025 forward. He's 6'8", big kid. Can play the 3 or the 4. Would be a huge pickup, right, for the 2025 class. However, I guess the word on the street is he's trying to reclassify to 2024. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with him. Again, it's Will Riley. Look it up. He put Arkansas in his final, I think it's in his final top 3 or top 4. Don't think he ends up at Arkansas, but it's just someone to keep an eye on out of the high school ranks, I guess, technically. Again, 6'8" forward. Trying to reclassify from 25 to 24. He is a 5-star forward. All right. Let's start with some of the NBA, the guys who will likely stick it out in the NBA, but there's some names here that have been talked about for a little while. None of these names, if you've been paying attention, are brand new to you. Again, we're trying to get the general audience kind of caught up. Not everybody's in our basketball Discord. Not everybody's in on all the recruiting stuff, so just keep that in mind. Some of these names you're very well aware you're well aware of if you pay attention to Razorback basketball recruiting or just recruiting in general. But one of the names that I'll start with, Coleman Hawkins, 6'10", 230-pound forward. Hawkins the belief is that Coleman's going to end up sticking with the NBA draft. This is not someone I think Arkansas has a shot at just simply because I think he's going to stick with the NBA. But that is a name worth keeping an eye on just to kind of see what happens, right? You never know. Never say never. Played at Illinois for 4 years. Again, 6'10", 225. He averaged 12 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. I guess he's gone to the combine, to the NBA combine. He's just looked really good. You know, his numbers just go up and up at Illinois. He goes from 1 point to 6 points to 10 points to 12 points a game. He shot almost 37% outside. Not bad. Pretty good free throw numbers too for a 6'10" forward. Shot 79% at the free throw line. Five defensive rebounds per game, 6 total. He also averaged close to 3 assists per game. So obviously Coleman Hawkins, is someone who, if he decided to come back, and it sounds like if Coleman decides to go college, to come back to college, it sounds like Arkansas would be on that super short list. You'd have a pretty good shot at him. I like Coleman. I watched a little bit of his, they used to call it tape. They call it film. I just call them highlights. Watched his highlights. This dude can move the floor. You could see he's pretty alert, pretty aware for a big. He could take up some space. His rebound numbers weren't I was thinking, 6 boards, they're not bad. 12 points, 6 boards, that's not terrible. I was thinking he'd be closer to about 9 boards a game with all the hype that he had behind him. Because up until however many weeks ago, I really didn't know a whole lot about him. I mean, I knew of him. I mean, I knew he was really good at Illinois. I just didn't know his numbers. Again, I thought his numbers would be a little bit better. Maybe 15 points, 8 boards. You love the almost 3 assists per game part, especially coming from a forward who could play multiple spots on the floor. He has a lot to offer. Coleman does. Has a lot of upside. And he is certainly a name worth again keeping an eye on. Just for research, right? Maybe you're an NBA fan and you're a little bit curious about him. The other guy, Jalen Wells, 6'8", 225-pound forward. He's another multi-spot guy. I don't know where he played at before Washington State. It might have been, I don't know where he was at before 2023, 24, but another guy, his numbers don't blow you away. You like his size. He can distribute the ball a little bit, but we're not talking about a true combo guard here. We're talking about a 6'7", 6'8", 205-pounder out of Sacramento, California. 13 points a game, about 5 boards, 44 points a game. Again, this is another guy. Do not expect him to come out of the draft. His stock just continues to rise. He's another one of these guys that went to the combine and is apparently just tearing it up. He's doing really well. So it's Jalen Wells. I would say, I don't know, maybe I would love to know your thought, like what you guys think of Jalen Wells. I'm still kind of like, all right, I know he's got a high ceiling. I think that's the thing you keep reading about. He's only got one year at Wazoo or at Washington State. But yeah, I haven't seen as much on him. I watched a little bit here and there, kind of on my phone, just surfing around YouTube, and kind of pulled his name up and watched a little bit of him. Not as much as I did Coleman Hawkins, but there is apparently a lot of upside to Jalen Wells. I'm not saying I wouldn't take him, but I would say that there's probably some other names I'd be more curious about. I think Jalen Wells' name kind of came up because of the interest that he had with Coach Cal. And I mean, of course, if Cal's really pursuing the guy, then there's got to be something there to him. I'm not saying he's worthless. I'm not saying that at all. But he's just not somebody that really stood out to me. I don't know maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. The other guy, so we got Coleman Hawkins, Jalen Wells, and then JT Toppin. Now, JT, I have his stuff here somewhere. Where are you, JT Toppin? There he is. 6'9", 210-pound freshman. 12 points, 9 boards. There you go. 62%. He's got some really good slam dunk footage. Free throw numbers are what suck, right? I mean, but he's a 6'9", 210-pound big freshman. His free throw numbers are putrid. They're 56%. These are bad. Those are not good numbers. He's out of Dallas, Texas. This is another guy expected to stay in the draft. But if he does decide to come out of the draft, if maybe he doesn't like what's going on there, maybe he pulls out. And again, the deadline is May 29th. So again, next week's going to be big. We're going to find out a lot next week if any of these guys pull out. But JT Toppin, 6'9", 210-pound forward. Again, he played for the Lobos for the University of New Mexico. You love the 9 boards, man. The 12 points, 9 boards, 62%. A lot of easy points around the glass. Like him a lot. JT Toppin would be a great get. Now, just if he were to pull his name out, it sounds like Texas Tech, I think UT. I thought someone had said Houston would probably be involved, but I kind of thought they'd filled up all their spots, but I could be wrong. I don't know if Houston's in play or not, but it sounds like anyone out of the state of Texas has at least a chance, or a couple of schools, I should say. The big schools, I should say, in Texas. So another guy worth keeping an eye on. Now, DJ Wagner, let's go to the transfer targets. What do we have on DJ Wagner? Again, as I've had to say the last 3 or 4 lives, no one really knows. This is, again, I feel like we're on repeat here. This has been a pretty odd. What we were saying in the beginning about DJ Wagner was, well, this is just part of the course for Coach Cal. This is just kind of how he does things, right? He moves a little slower than others. He's, we're going to be okay. You know what I mean? Kind of taking his time. I don't know about this long, though, right? Where does he have to go? There's no more spots left. Florida, he never went on the visit to Florida. He never went on the visits. USC has filled up their roster. Arkansas's it's got to be the only likely destination, unless someone swooped in and we just haven't heard about it. And I feel like if someone had swooped in, we would have heard something by now. 6'3", 175-pound combo guard, considered like this is a guy that you feel like if you brought him on, if you got him on your roster, he'd move Arkansas up several spots on his own for any too early top 25. Again, he's one of those 6'3", 180-pound combo guards, can move well with the ball. The offense is capable of flowing through the guy. We know he is a capable player being developed under Cal. This is one of Cal's guys. He's just developing along the way. It just makes all the sense in the world to come follow him to Fayetteville, DJ. What are you waiting on? Pull the trigger. Let's go. This is the notes here that I have that I wrote out for DJ Wagner. Yeah, we're still waiting. This one has been odd. There was something out in the ethos here recently that it might have something to do with grades, but that's been, from what I understand, that's nonsense. Or there could possibly be an NIL hang-up. I think that's nonsense. Maybe. You never know. With NIL, we never really know. All that transparency. Who needs it? Or he could be waiting on other players to make up their minds. We talked about the Euro guys not long ago. I still think he ends up at Arkansas. I still think that's the case. Again, as of May 23rd, 2024, I still think he ends up a Hog, but all of this silence is just weird, especially for a high-profile guy. Is he waiting around to see what happens in the NBA with the draft up until next week when you can formally withdraw and return to school on May 29th? What's he doing? What's going on? Why isn't there more news on him? However, he's not the first player to do this, right? I mean, it's not as strange. I think what makes it so odd is we thought at any moment, how many weeks ago? We thought at any moment, Wagner's going to be a Razorback. This has been tossed up now for weeks. It's done. He's going to be people in Kentucky. And that was another brief theory for maybe like an hour on a random Tuesday. Maybe he ends up staying at Kentucky. That ain't happening. Or if it did, that would be probably one of the more surprising moves. So, we're still waiting on DJ. No idea if wherever he ends up, getting a very capable guard. I guess we just got to wait and see, right? Just got to wait and see. I still don't think we sync without him. Are you talking about DJ? No, for sure. I don't think that at all, especially with who Cal could pull in. Tie them overseas guys. I can't read that. Emoji's in the way. Tie them overseas guys don't be that good in college. Well, I don't know about all of them. They're waiting on. Speaking of overseas, how about Igor Demin? I don't know how you pronounce his last name. He's out of Russia. He's another one of those. They call him a combo, but he's 6'7", 195 pounds. I'm pretty sure he could play. It feels like this is the kind of guy that could play almost anywhere on the floor, depending on what kind of system you're running. He could play the 1 through 4. I've got him at 6'7". I've heard some other sites have him at like 6'9". He's considered a combo guard. Could play anywhere. He's got good handles. Apparently, Cal is in the lead. Other schools have been a part of the process. I don't know who. That's literally all I have is other schools are in the process. Igor Demin, again, 6'7", 6'8", somewhere in there, 195-pound guard. Another guy that would be a fantastic get. Why are you talking in all caps? Why are you typing in all caps, Mello? It's okay. It's going to be okay, man. Mello, I think everyone has listen. Yeah, I know. That's just Mello. I know. I know. Everyone has a developmental period in their process. Not everyone's just ready to jump to the NBA. Some guys need 1 year, 2 years, 3 years in the oven before you pull them out. That's just how I type. I mean, I can read you just fine. I know you don't just do that here. I know. It just feels like you're yelling at me, man. Overseas guys like Denim are more NBA ready than pickup leagues like G League Unite, says Michael Kopesky. A guy named Mello talking in caps. Oh, the irony. He doesn't just do that here. I think he's done that on several other YouTube shows. Make sure you guys like and share, all right? If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. I do appreciate all you guys being here. I've got my Madden game tonight. I'm going to talk a little Madden. I hope I don't run off Jim Sandy Robinson, but I got my Week 3 game against Megan. Got her coming up tonight. I am 0-2. I am terrible. Love the show. Hey, I appreciate you, Hog Wild Niner guy. Oh, no. You're a Niners fan? Why? Oh, my desk. Ow. Why? Richard Miller says, in Cal we trust. Cal, those Hogs, baby. So of all those names, oh, God. His name. It's in the name. Hog Wild Niner guy. Oh, dagger. Oh, dagger. Of all those names, and including DJ Wagner, Igor, Demine, Will Riley, who the likelihood of several of these guys coming here are not super high. Jalen Wells, Coleman Hawkins, JT Toppin. Let's just say you get to pick two. Which of those two do you want here? And consider the current roster. You got to consider the current roster, but let's just say they're waiting on your doorstep. You've got the check for the X amount of dollars, right? You got the check, but you can only pick two of them. Who you taking? Will Riley, and I like Will Riley. I think he's someone a year or two down the road could be a monster. Igor Demin, DJ Wagner, JT Toppin, Coleman Hawkins, Jalen Wells. Now remember, May 29th, again, that is the deadline for players in the NBA draft to formally withdraw and return to school. Ty, 9:30 a.m. baseball, shaking my head. Yeah, we talked about that at the beginning. Well, we didn't talk about the fact that it was at 9:30, but the disappointment. By the way, there is a poll up if you guys haven't taken it yet. Confidence in the Hogs making Omaha, 28% on High. Okay, High is now in third place. Low has taken its spot, so medium is at the highest at 38%, which is, kind of the realistic take, I would say. But I get it, too, if you're on low. 34% on low, and then High's at 28. Well, someone keeps changing their vote, but there you go. Oh, no, we added some more votes. Kenneth Anthony wants to know, so no commits yet, basketball. No, we're just talking. We're just talking. We're just getting up to date. We're letting all the anyone who's kind of been on the outside on recruiting on any of this stuff, giving them kind of a heads up. And the latest that we have, and really there's not a lot. We're still kind of waiting on, of course, we've been waiting on DJ Wagner, and that seemed like a foregone conclusion for a while. It's obviously not. JT Toppin was the one that said Arkansas was not an option. Hawkins will. When did he say that? Hold on. What? Michael, you're going to have to give me a link. When did he say that Arkansas was not an option? I know there was someone who said that. I didn't think it was him. Yeah. Relax. Coach Cal's a good recruiter. He will have 11 players, says Ray Hamilton. When did JT Toppin say when did he eliminate Arkansas? To be fair, I made this list. I started on this list like last week, so maybe I missed something. When did he eliminate Arkansas? Or is Michael is he just talking noise? Let's see. JT Toppin, Arkansas. Yeah, I mean, as of like 5 days ago, they had multiple places were reporting that Arkansas would be a good fit. This is Sports Grid. Well, of course, one of these, it's kind of like Sports Illustrated now. You go to these websites and you're just loaded down with ads and crap. I don't even know where do I click to continue? Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, so this guy, TJ Inman, says Texas Tech, Louisville, of course, Arkansas, and I don't know who this other school is. He doesn't give this website's terrible. Let's see what CBS Sports says. CBS Sports, this is from David Cobb. Scrolling here. It's funny when they mentioned DJ Wagner, old school, Kentucky, new school, nothing. Wagner finished 2023 recruiting cycles, blah, 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 blah. It's a really, I went through this article a couple days ago. Oh my gosh, so many names. Dylan Mitchell, Ryan Conwell. Who said Cam Christie? This guy has Cam Christie rated 46th. From Minnesota, someone mentioned him in chat. Christie averaged 11 points, 2 assists, shooting 39%, beyond the arc, earned Big Ten All-Freshman honors, the 6'6" wing, has 3 seasons left to play, and a ton of offensive upside. He's the younger brother, former Michigan State guard, and current Los Angeles Laker Max Christie. My God. There he is, JT Toppin. Okay. JT Toppin, let's see. So he doesn't list schools. He just old school, New Mexico. Player with Toppin's combination of production and promise don't come around often. The 6'9" forward earned Mountain West Rookie of the Year honors. That's what we have to call him now because, well, let's see, averaging 12 points, 9 boards, 2 blocks. Toppin has 3 seasons of eligibility remaining, and he already demonstrated the ability to step out and shoot 3-pointers. He's got a tantalizing all-around game and could develop into an NBA draft prospect. And he's got a lot of upside. That's what I keep reading, along with the other 2. Yeah, but no projection as to where he's going. So I don't know where. If he eliminated Arkansas, now I know there was a player that did take Arkansas off his list not that long ago, but I didn't think it was JT Toppin. Did Kopesky give me an example, or do we have a link? It was because of the coaching change that Toppin changed his mind. It might have been. I don't think it was. I don't think Toppin eliminated Arkansas. I don't know. If he did, I'm unaware of that. I didn't know that he did or not. May have to ask Patreon. Again, it's very possible I overlooked it, but 2 runs scored on our ace today. What does that do to his confidence, says Hog Fan 40 ounce? Well, the good news is they weren't earned runs on him. So that's the good news. Kenneth Anthony, let's be real, Ty, our baseball team batting average is garbage. So many expectations for College World Series. So my expectations for College World Series is slim. We really need new hitting coach next season. All I'm looking forward to is basketball season, says Kenneth Anthony. Man, if you don't like baseball or basketball and you're only a football guy, right? Life must be tough. Thankfully, Kenneth Anthony here is a baseball guy too. Melo's making it very clear he doesn't want an overseas player. Okay. I don't know that I share that same I don't know that I agree with that. It might have been Goodman or Torres. Aaron, you're talking about Aaron? I don't know, man. I don't know where that's coming from. Or unless it happened somewhere on Twitter and I missed it, or Instagram. But I feel like everybody would have known that by now. Shout out to, of course, Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. All 100 plus of you. Our Discord is popping. What am I getting tagged in? What is this? NCAA power conferences agree to settlement to allow schools to pay players. Okay. I knew that this was a something being discussed. Pete Thamel just reported this. NCAA power conferences agree to settlement to allow schools to pay players. This is a historic, or Pete goes on to say, on a historic day in college sports, and explain the complications that remain. The story with Dan Murphy. On a historic day in college sports, and we explain the complications that remain. Interesting. Yeah, that is big, actually. It's really big. Okay. I mean, we may have to pick a time and date to discuss this, because that's a whole damn show on its own. That is big. I've said before that schools should be paying the players. I don't know how you do it. I don't know if you can sign up contracts. I know the idea of these players making even more money makes folks really uneasy, especially since Pandora's box was open with the NIL stuff, and it's not been very well policed. the portal, and they don't know what the hell they're doing with the portal half the time. We're getting all these adjustments and rule changes, which is somewhat to be expected, but they opened up Pandora's box without any formal plan, and now you're discussing colleges paying these players, and fans are uneasy about the whole thing. However, if done right, I think this could actually be helpful. And believe it or not, I am in favor if it can be similar to what the NFL has put together. I'm fine with a players union. But there has to be more oversight from the top. Whoever the hell that is in the next 2 or 3 years, I think we all agree the NCAA is I mean, they're just in shambles. They don't have any choice. They're in shambles. When do we wake up and read Twitter that the NCAA is being it's just gone? When are we going to wake up and read that? It feels like at any moment the NCAA will be finished by the year 2026. It's done. Or 2025. That's the end of the year, that calendar year. That'll be it. It'll be up to the conferences to police themselves, to set up rules and regulations. I don't know if that's for the best or not. I do still believe we need a college athletics commissioner, maybe for each sport, right? Maybe football has its own commish, basketball has its own commish, baseball. Then you got the women's sports side of things. I do think schools should pay players. I do. And I think it might, again, if done right, could actually help with all this nonsense with the NIL and how wild it's gotten. If you could set up short-term contracts somehow, some way, it'll help with the portal. Now, there is the question of minors and how, can a minor, even with their legal adult or a guardian or an adult signing on their behalf, can you really hold them to a contract? I don't think you can. I don't know. I have no idea. How do these child stars, get into these movies, right? They got to sign contracts. And who's signing those contracts? It's the parents. So why couldn't you do that in sports? Have a parent or guardian sign on their behalf until they're 18, and then you can make the change. And even there's a little bit of a pause, okay, so what happens when the kid turns 18 and he doesn't want to do it anymore? Does that change because the parent signed on his behalf? That's, again, these are legal questions I don't have the answers to, but I do think it could help slow down the portal, along with more portal oversight, by the way. Need to get rid of these 2 windows, or however many windows they have. Need to get rid of them. Need 1 window, and it needs to be short. 1 window, and it's short. 1 week to get in it. You got 1 week. And I do think if you pay players, now you could ask, does that cover, do you give them a scholarship plus the school pay them, or do you make them pay for their scholarship, right? And you're talking about that's a pretty large sum of money. There's all kinds of questions. I don't know that anyone has a perfect solution, but I do think, again, schools should pay players. And maybe that'll take the pressure off these communities. That'll take the pressure off local businesses and off the fans to have to pay for the NIL support. Maybe that'll alleviate a little bit of pressure from the people who already paid for the damn tickets and the merchandise. Maybe that'll take a little bit of pressure off of hardworking folks who just want to watch their teams play. Don't want to be hassled all the time about the NIL, about Edge or whatever. And look, these universities are doing just what they're supposed to do. You can't blame them. You can't blame the U of A. They got to do something, or if you don't compete, you die in the NIL race. If you don't entertain the NIL, you're in deep shit. You're done. You can't always rely on millionaires and billionaires. We would love to spend their money, but we can't do that. Yeah, and I think this could help alleviate some of that. You're still going to have problems with corruption. You're still going to have problems with cheating. You're still going to have the same BS, but maybe this will help in some other areas. Sometimes it's just about the trade-offs. Rarely do you get the solutions. Maybe this trade-off will be better, right? I don't know. Maybe not. But listen, we all know we're headed in this direction anyways. We've known this for a while. We're going more and more like the NFL. I've been saying this now for the last 4 years. In some ways, I think it's disastrous for the NCAA or for college athletics. It's disastrous. You're slowly losing the pageantry. You're slowly losing that college feel, you know. How soon until the bands are just not playing inside stadiums anymore? That's a part of the pageantry. I mean, let's be real. But how soon until they get rid of the entire – they just do away with the band altogether, save some money. They just hire a DJ. They're already doing that. All right. Appreciate everybody for being here again. If you're new, like, share, subscribe. Direct service overhead, the Garage Door Company. Northwest Arkansas, Central Arkansas, they've got you covered. Same-day services, quality parts, 501-244-3667. Again, that's direct service overhead. And, of course, Insurance Max, personal, business, life and health insurance, retirement. They cover all four corners of the state. Sign up or call for a free quote today. You get a chance at winning a copy of EA College Football 25. You get your name thrown into a hat with the opportunity of winning a copy of EA College Football 25 on behalf of Insurance Max. All you got to do is call, sign up for a free quote. That's it. That's all it takes. Trying to read chat. I wish Kentucky's baseball program could get on Arkansas's level. I mean, okay. They did just beat Arkansas, but all right. I mean, are they on Arkansas's level? Not overall. No, they're not. NCAA just passed a rule, Power 5. Yeah, we just talked about that. Taiwan Porter, welcome. I got faith in Cal and his coaching staff to have the roster ready for next season. Let's be patient. Or let's be patient, ladies and gentlemen. Process takes time. Yeah. Why did Kentucky's 10th best sport beat Arkansas in their best sport today? That is the dumbest take I think I've read. You realize Kentucky was a really good baseball program this year, right? Peanut, what's Kentucky's overall SEC record in just the last 10 years? That's a silly take, man. These Tucky fans are so hurt. Bro, they come out of nowhere. They beat Arkansas, and they're – y'all are about as bad as Alabama football, except you haven't been actually relevant in a minute. You certainly haven't been relevant in baseball. That's for damn sure. Congrats, man. See how far they go. Give them their crown. I guess Arkansas was their World Series. Oh, poor Kentucky. Yay, maybe you might get to Omaha. No, your baseball program, they're really good this year. Overall, they don't hold a candle to Arkansas. Sorry, bro. Iowa should owe Clark at least 7 to 8, says Camo. Boy, oh boy, they've set the WNBA on fire. That's crazy. WNBA, you'd think they'd be, like, happy. She's bringing them all kinds of money. But no, they got to complain. There's got to be something there to complain about. Never happy. Let's put an end to this poll. Confidence in the Hogs making Omaha. It's going to end. 37% of you say medium. Your confidence is mediocre. Low at 31%, high at 30%. So high takes third place. That's about where I thought it would end up. All right, so that's that'll do it. I'll be back either this weekend if we have anything worth going live for. You guys know I'll cover it, or I'll be back next week. Now the next couple of weeks are gonna be a little wild. Kids are closing out school. I don't know the availability on everything as far as live shows. It could only be a couple shows, but one way or another, we'll I'll be here at some point next week. But again, on your way out, make sure you like, share, subscribe. I appreciate you guys. I gotta knock out this round of Madden football with Megan from our Discord. If you guys want to join, just join our Discord. Come be a part of it. It's a lot of fun. Check out Patreon if you want to further support the channel. And I will see you guys. I'll see you at some point. Maybe this weekend, maybe next week. One way or another. You guys have a good weekend. I'll see you.